Hi, guys. Welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. Today, I have Kellie here with us. Hi, Kellie.
Hello,
And let's
everyone.
see if I can say this right. I've been talking so much today, but it's transformational practitioner. I said it right.
Yes,
Look at
yes.
that. So she's going to be tell us all about what she does, and she's such a beautiful lady. I'm so excited to have you on here. Your personality, just talking to you beforehand, you're glowing and it's just
Thank you.
amazing. So I can't wait to dive in. All right. So before we get started,
Mhm.
Kelly, how many weddings have you been to in the last 15 years?
15 years. I have been to 4 weddings.
4 weddings. Okay, next question. Say you're going into a ceremony and you're walking through, and to the right, there's something there for you to sign to let the bride and groom know you were there. What are you signing?
The guest book.
Yay! Now, I've only had one other person answer their life away, and I was like, "That was funny." I was like, "No, that would be them signing." But I think you got it put mixed up with the marriage license or something, but yeah, definitely. So, yes, it is, like a guest book, but one of our biggest sponsors here for Keep Hope Alive is lifeonrecord.com. Now, what they do is no guest book, but they put a vintage rotary phone out there. So your guests get to walk up, pick up the phone, and be like, congratulations on your big day. You guys make a beautiful couple. Or maybe it's like even the groomsman going, dude, it's about time you put a ring on her finger. You guys make a great couple. Congrats, congrats. And then right next to the table with the beautiful phone, they have a QR code that you can scan with your own mobile device if
Mm.
you didn't want to use the phone, and you can leave it before or after. Now, I always use wedding as my example for life on record, but you can use this for any kind of event. I even use this for a football injury and let the kids call in and leave a message. So, what this is like the gift of voice. And once all these messages come through, you have a choice. They can burn it on a 12-inch vinyl record, or it could be on a keepsake speaker. So, like, even if it's wedding and you're celebrating your 1 year, you can bring that out, listen to all your friends and family congratulating you, and just be like, oh, this is a fun night to hear all these messages. Now, the other thing is like you can leave a 5-minute message, 10, even 30-minute message if you wanted to. So it holds that much space. So their plans start at $99 and you get the phone number, not the phone, you got to return the phone, but the number for 1 year, which is really, really cool. So, but their phones, girl, they are so cute. They're like black and gold and the old timey, and it's just adorable. So you can decorate the table any way you want to. I kind of like the idea of like a grandma's attic. Or I keep thinking attic for some reason, but something cute with the florals and picture frames and
Mhm.
just have that phone there. That would be so adorable. But to find out more information about it, you can go to www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. So, who is Kelly? I want to know all about you, girl.
Oh, well, I am a multifaceted woman. That's what I am. Actually, so my background is in real estate investing, so that is what I have done for a very long time. But I also help support women with hair loss due to my own hair loss journey. So I have alopecia, and I found out probably in my 30s, but I actually started losing my hair in my late 20s.
And what is
So
it called?
alopecia, yes.
I don't know
That
what that is.
so, oh, okay. I'm glad that you don't know because then I can explain it, right? So, alopecia is basically an autoimmune disease, basically, that attacks your hair follicles. Now, it's different forms of alopecia. Mine's is what they call scarring alopecia. That's the nickname. So, mine's is basically from hair products that cause damage to my scalp and my hair follicles, and my hair just fell out and will not come back. But there are other types of alopecia where people may just lose different spots within their head, and it happens randomly. Sometimes people wake up and all of their hair is gone. It's on the pillow or it's
Okay.
washed, when they're washing their hair, it just
On
comes
the
out and then it'll grow back later. Then some people are just not born with hair. So it's just different forms of
okay.
alopecia, but that's just one type of hair loss. There are other types of hair loss, such as, women who are people who are going through cancer and have radiation and chemo treatments, they lose their hair. You can lose your hair from stress, hormonal imbalances,
Mhm.
malnutrition, menopause, postpartum. Like it's a lot of different ways
Yep.
that women can lose their hair. So, but mine happens to be alopecia. So, with that, you're losing a part of yourself, and it's very hard. And I know I went through years of covering up and hiding and not really telling a lot of people about what I had and what was going on until I actually worked on my mindset and became comfortable with who I am and decided to present myself authentically and
Mhm.
to have the look that you see today. And this is what I've been rocking since 2019, and I haven't gone back. So I'm here to support and help uplift women and rebuild their confidence so that
Yeah.
they, are okay with whatever's happening within themselves.
Gotcha, gotcha. So as I told you, I was like, you can rock it as a model too, as a photographer and me. I was like, so that is cool. And, you know, going through, what you did, let me backtrack. So you said this happened around, did I hear 13 or am I just,
Mhm.
no,
Okay, so this started happening in my late 20s, early 30s
20s?
for me.
Oh, okay. I was thinking teenager. Okay.
No, I had a full thick head of hair when I was a teenager. Yeah.
When it was like hair products can do that? I've never knew hair products could do that.
Well, so certain hair products for me or us as African Americans, we would use relaxers to straighten our hair. So when I was younger, that was the norm. Everybody did it, but we did not know it could cause damage to our scalps.
Oh,
Now, some
okay.
people may have known, I mean, as far as testing and all that stuff, that may have been occurring, but the average person who was getting this done to themselves did not know. So we were relaxing our hair, straightening it, and that was damaging our scalps. Now, some women weren't affected, they're fine, but a lot of
Mhm.
women are affected. And not even just the relaxers. We can't use certain shampoos, and we didn't know that back then. Again, I'm 44, so let me just put that out
Don't
there.
look
So I
it.
grew up in the 80s and 90s. We didn't
Me
know.
too. Yeah, I'm 46, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I have
What
to
was
say
it?
that because
Sun
people
in.
think I'm younger than what I am, and so when I'm
Uh-huh.
speaking, people are like, "What are you talking about?" No, please understand, this was the '80s. We didn't do all of the things that we do today, and we didn't pay
No.
attention to the products and what's in the products and how it can harm us. We didn't pay attention to that stuff. So that is what it was, or
Yeah.
that's what happened.
My hair turned green with sun in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never had blonde hair. I was strictly all this dark color, and I
Uh-huh.
only did blonde hair because I keep getting gray hair and I'm trying to cover it. But man, turning green, so not knowing products, you're right about that. And then even like, oh my gosh, the 80s, so like taking the curling iron and rolling it up and
Mhm.
teasing it. I always thought I would lose hair that way too. But yes, as women do get closer to menopause too, like being 46, I had my job, I was like, I found a hairball. What is this? I'm not a cat. Like, what
Right.
is this? And my boss, she's younger than me. She
Mhm.
goes, "Well, when you get up in age, you start to lose hair." And I was like, "She's right."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Man, why is it coming out just like a hairball?" I don't like
Yeah.
that.
And you're used to
So,
shedding, but you're not used to a clump of hair. That's a big difference, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely, that's
So
alarming.
exactly. So I want to know kind of the process of what you had to go through. Like, what was the emotional state like? I mean, did it just happen all of a sudden fast for you, or was it weeks that it started coming out?
No, it was a slow process. So for me, I used to have locks or what they call dreadlocks. So at that point, I really wasn't paying that much attention to the hair loss because it was just I was just getting it retwisted and it didn't show as much until my cousin was doing my hair and she saw a spot at the top of my head and it was a little like bald spot that was not that big. And she's like, you have a spot? And I'm like, no, but we were just like, well, let's just pay attention to it. It'll grow in. Let's,
Yeah.
maybe put some oil or something on it. But it started getting larger. So at that point is when I decided to comb the locks out. Now, this tells you how important my hair was, right? Because I didn't want to cut
Yeah.
my hair off. Usually, when people have locks, they just cut it off and just have a shortcut and let their hair grow back out. And I was like, no, we're going to comb them out. And I'm still going to
Yeah.
have hair. And we're just going to nourish my hair, take care of it, and see what happens from there. So that tells you right there that I was just in denial.
Yeah.
And I was in denial for a very, very long time. I did eventually go to a dermatologist, and that's when he told me that I have alopecia. Now, before going to the dermatologist, I was trying to use essential oils. I was using all kind of things. I Googled to try to fix the hair loss and get my hair to grow back. But yeah,
Yeah.
it just took years, and I was wearing wigs and head wraps and just
I was
covering
gonna
it up.
ask you that.
Yeah,
Wigs and then even yeah, you said like, not bandana, I don't know what
head
they call
wraps.
it. It's like a wrap. Okay, yeah.
Yep, yep. So
So,
doing all of those things, scarves, anything just to cover up the hair loss, or weaves, or and bling in hair
yeah.
fibers, all kinds of stuff.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, I mean, you're in your 20s, you already graduated from
Mhm.
high school, so that's all done with.
Yeah.
Did you end up going to college when
So this was after college. I was
oh,
actually done with college. I was out on my own. So, early, this was late 20s, early 30s. So I was past all of that. Just getting in, I was in my career, the beginning stages at that time, out on my own. So yeah, I was just a young person, just out in the world, living my life.
that is good though. So in real estate, I've learned a little bit. I've worked for a couple of realtors, but it was doing the photography for MLS and
Hmm.
then I helped with contracts. And then one of my bosses like, why don't you go to school? I'll pay for it. I was like, but this is not who I am as a person. I go, this is something I don't mind helping you with open houses. I'll be your video content person. And I did that for a little bit, but it still wasn't me. And I was just like, oh, test. I don't want to do this.
Right.
I have fun talking to people and being like customer service person. So that's of course why I have a podcast. So,
Of course. And it's good
but
that you knew that, because
yeah,
everybody doesn't recognize, like, hey, this job isn't for me. I'm not going to even take this or go down this route. But you knew enough to
yeah,
say, hey, I know myself, this doesn't fit me. So, nah.
yeah. Yeah, I was just like, I don't want to be scrambling for homes for sale to know if I'm going to be able to pay my bills or not.
Right.
I still would not do that. I mean, yeah, it's fun. I watch people do it. I've seen some people in real estate also burn out from it.
Yeah.
It is very stressful. So I just kind of like I will sit back, watch. I
Mhm.
even with the podcast, I even put the photography on a little bit of a hold too. And I'm just like, but I have this vision because I love doing landscape photography. I still
Okay.
want to do that. So even though cameras in the bag, I'm like, I still got that eye. I still want to
Mhm.
go do that. And then I was like, am I going to get busy this fall because family portraits? And I
Oh, yeah.
used to do that a lot. So,
Mhm.
but I was just like, I'm getting older. Let these younger ones get it now.
Isn't
So,
it something as you
but
get older, you're like, the things you used to do, you're like, nah, I don't have the time and energy for it. We'll let somebody else handle that. Right now, it's about
yeah,
ease and flow and whatever I enjoy doing. Totally different than
exactly.
when you were younger.
Yep, yep, definitely. And it's great because I'll go to church and well, he's been talking about this a lot, but having your placement and knowing how you're serving. And like for me, I know it's the podcast. I know my spiritual gift. I know how to use it. And I
Mhm.
know I'm doing good for the world. And I will keep continuing to do that because that is my calling.
Yeah.
So, but, just hearing that is so funny. I love my church, but his voice is like so soothing. And I'm like, I fall asleep. I was like, "That's a sign I'm getting older." But he's funny because I think it was a couple of weeks ago, he goes, "I know I put you guys to sleep sometimes, but please wake up." I'm just like, "Yes, we're awake."
And
So
don't call me out, please don't call me out.
well, I know there is no way. There's hundreds of people that go for each one.
Okay.
It is huge church. I don't think I ever get singled out, but I sit close enough, I guess, by if they're videotaping. I just don't want to be on a videotape sleeping. So, but I love church. So, but other than that, so with the changes, I'm going to go
Mhm.
back to this because it's very important. I'm trying to understand like through work. And you said you were wearing the wigs, the cover ups. And I mean, did it change anything? Well, you had to go through changes probably like, I don't want to say mentally is not the right word, or is it like you had to accept
Emotionally,
it?
yes. Yeah, emotionally, mentally, yeah, there were some
Yeah.
challenges. There were. Because even at the beginning stages of my hair loss, I was still in corporate America at that time. Even though, like I
Yeah.
told you guys, I'm a real estate investor, yes, but I still had a job at that
Yep.
time. And just going to work and trying to figure out, okay, how do I present myself? Because I have this hair loss. Like, what do I do? Because, in corporate America, you have to present yourself in a certain way,
Yeah.
especially then. This was early 2000s. So,
Yeah.
it was really, really, it wasn't as relaxed. Let's put it like that. It wasn't relaxed. It was really conservative back then. Now, it's much more relaxed because now you
Yeah.
can work from home, you can wear sweatpants and this. Back then it was like, no, the only thing you may be able to do was business casual. That's khakis and a nice shirt, right?
Yes.
So you have to
Uh-huh.
present yourself in a certain way. And it was like, oh goodness, now how do I do this? Because I didn't know how to buy wigs. I had never bought one. So I had to learn how to do that and figure out that process. And I had some good ones and I had some bad ones. But in the beginning,
Mm.
it wasn't that great.
Oh
But
my
then
god.
too, like the head wraps, like culturally, yeah, we wear head wraps, but to wear it to work, how is that going to be perceived when I can't figure out my hair situation? And so it was just stressful, just thinking every
Yeah.
morning about how do I go to work and what do I look like when I go to work? Every night I'm thinking about this, and in the mornings, how do I present myself? So stress on top of denial, on top of frustration, because I'm trying to figure out the solution and I can't figure that out. I go to the dermatologist. He doesn't have any solutions for me because he's like, with your type of alopecia, there's nothing you can do. He's like, you can't even get hair transplants. But again, I didn't believe him. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm
There's
gonna,
always a way.
yeah, there's a
There's
way, there's a
always a
way, and I'm still going to go and see if I can get some hair transplants. And I did.
yeah.
And I was told I wasn't a good candidate because of the type of alopecia. Now, if I had a different form of alopecia, it may have
Yeah.
worked. But the type of alopecia I have, the scarring, they're like, no, it'll be a waste of your money. So basically, if I was to have the hair transplanted from the back of my head to the top, eventually the follicles would just die again and the hair would just come back out. So I was
Oh.
appreciative that they told me the truth and didn't just take my money. I was
Yeah.
grateful for that. But it was still disappointing because as a woman, you want hair. That's what society tells us. In order to be beautiful, you have to have hair. And, it's a big thing. So yeah, so that was frustration. Then it was anger. Then it was a little bit of sadness and depression because now I'm told I can't get the hair transplants. I can't. What do I do? What do I do at this point? I wasn't shaving my hair off and wearing it bald was not an option in my mind. until I had to for the first time. And that was a situation that happened where I got a hairstyle and all my hair pretty much fell out, at the top. It was like it took
Yeah.
out all of this at the top of my head. So then that was a situation where I had no choice. I had to cut my hair off, and I was not prepared to do that mentally at all. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about the decision and the choice I had to make. I just did not feel good. But I did wear it bald for maybe a month and a half, and I couldn't handle it anymore. And I put the wig back on, and I wore a wig, I think, for a full year. I did not leave the house without a wig on for a full year. And I let my hair grow up under it, and some of it did come back, but it was still, patchy. So I couldn't just wear it out.
Yeah.
And if I did
Yeah.
wear it out, I had to put like a scarf or something around the front and then wear, it out in the back. So I still had to camouflage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you're definitely going through all those changes, learning to accept it,
Yes.
and then it's making you stronger. And I guess where I'm getting at this, you have found a way to empower other people who are going through this, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Um, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, that has led me to supporting women with hair loss and also supporting women in general, just with being your authentic self. Because there are a lot
Yeah.
of things about us that we just don't like. Now, other people may be like, you look fine, but it may be your weight, it may be your hair, it may be you have to have something amputated, it could be anything. But we feel a certain way about it internally, but everybody else they're like, oh, you're fine, you're beautiful, you're this. But it matters what you feel about yourself and how you present yourself. So that's what I
Yeah.
do. I help rebuild women's confidence. Let them know that you're still beautiful. Make sure they
Yeah.
believe in themselves regardless of what has happened, what's going on. You are a beautiful woman. You're put on this earth for a reason. You have a purpose.
Yeah.
You still have things to do. So we can't let this thing, this hair loss, this whatever, this weight, whatever it may be, we can't let that stop us. We have to embrace it. We can move forward. If we can try to fix it,
Yep.
try to fix it, but we have to move forward. We can't get stuck. So
Yeah.
let's work on that.
So I like that you cover more than just that because when you said amputated, it made me think of my friend. They wanted to amputate her leg
Hmm.
and she was having a hard time with that. She is like, I'm going to be stuck in a wheelchair. I do not want that for my life. I'm not going to let them do it. And, I was just like, I was there for her as a backbone. Now she's in heaven, but um, it was hard to watch that, and, she never did get it done, but just the talks, she did not know how to even process what they were saying to her. She had RSD,
Hmm.
so her feet were always huge, swollen. She could not walk. She was bedridden a lot of the times too,
Hmm.
so and I just remember, okay, I met her through the Chronic Pain Association. I'm one of the ambassadors. So they did a meeting here in Dallas, Texas. But it's so weird because we were at the same meeting, but I didn't know who she was. I didn't even talk to her.
Hmm.
And then when she went back home to Indianapolis, she called me out of the blue and I was like, yeah, she goes, well, I'm doing this and this. And what do you think about this and this? And we just got to talking, but we became like the best of friends just by phone
Good.
calling. And it's just like, okay. So she also she supported and believed in other people, and they have, like, a chronic warrior, mail out that people all around the world who go through this, they will send cards to other warriors,
Okay.
but she would make the card designs, and I was like, she was so giftedly talented. It was beautiful work, and she was just so happy she was making somebody else's day out there. But I was like, that is such a good process to have and stuff.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
when you mentioned that, I was like, I automatically was like, yeah, I never thought of it that way. So whether it's changes, I mean, even breast cancer, it's making me think about that too. If you, don't know what it's called, but when you lose them, the
Mhm.
girls, they're
Mhm.
gone. That's
Mhm.
going to be a huge change too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep. So
And
transformation.
that's a prime example of what I'm speaking about though. Your friend, she had, you said her leg amputated, correct?
No, she
Oh,
didn't go through with that
oh, she
process.
didn't. Oh, okay, okay. But I was
Yeah.
about to say, even though she had something going on within her, right, that was
Yep.
causing her not to be able to walk and all of these things, she still had a gift. You just
Yep.
said it. Still had a gift.
Yep.
She used that gift to
Yep.
help other people and make the world a better place. That's
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Have to move forward. We have to push past it. It's not going to be always easy, but you have
Yep.
a gift and you have something that you need to focus on and share with the world. That's the important part. So let's get rid of all
Yep.
of the noise, the negative self talk, the negative self identity that we've adapted. Let's go ahead. Let's let that go so we
Yep.
can focus on what we need to be focusing on.
Yep, and it's always about getting the word out. We can be going through the roughest of times. I'm proof of that. I try not to talk much about it, but I've been under the moon a lot, like
Mhm.
surgery, 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 growing up with this, that. But I had to say, "No, I know my gift and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna be here doing the podcast no matter what. Nothing's gonna stop me."
Mhm.
But, it was just one of those things. I was talking to somebody else going, "You know what? I am a chronic pain warrior, but when I'm like a 12 in pain, tears don't come flowing out, period.
Right.
But if I have to go to the hospital and I say in pain, because I'm not crying, they're like, she's really not in pain." And then I'll hear somebody in a couple rooms just bawling their heads out in pain. And they're like, give her morphine, da 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 da. They're like, here,
Mhm.
you get Tylenol. And I was like, Tylenol. Like,
Right.
I can't even feel my whole leg. And like, I'm coming to you because I go, I could take Tylenol at home if I wanted to, but it's not going
Exactly.
to work. So just being in pain for all those years, it's changed people. And then it's so weird because I had to look up something I'm experiencing, and it's dry eye. I never had that before. And
Mhm.
it's like you can't produce tears. And I was like, man, it feels like shards of glass in the corner
Ooh.
of my eye all the
Mhm.
time. But I am choosing stop dwelling on that. Like you're going to go on and it doesn't heal. It's going to be with me. So that's
Okay.
another thing when you have to take things and accept it for what it is. You got to
Mhm.
learn by it. It does not define the true you.
Yeah.
You go after how you want to live your life still, if it's traveling or going back to school or having this wonderful job, the career that you've always wanted, go after it
Yeah.
because it's like you got an angel and you got a devil on your shoulder, right? Yeah, the devil's
Mhm.
like, hey, we're going to just focus on this until it wears you out. But
Mhm.
you don't wanna hear that. You wanna hear at the angel, "We got this, and we're strong, and we're gonna bring awareness to the world because of what, you've been through or so and so," and teaching. I think that's the key, and positive energy
Oh,
is
yeah.
another key. Yeah. So
Oh,
don't
yeah.
dwell on things we can't fix. It's just move forward and show the light. So
Exactly. And it also, from at least for me and some of my clients, it's like you start to realize that if you have something going on, you need to live life even harder, like even make it even
oh, yeah.
fuller than you could have ever imagined. Because just like as your example, if you have dry eye, okay, you have it now. But if you get older, it could get worse where you can't go travel like you want to because of this dry eye. I'm just using that as an example,
Yeah.
but You
Yeah.
never know what can happen. So that means right now, oh, it's time to go travel. It's time to go do those things and make sure we plan to do
See.
those things we've always wanted to do, whether it's a hobby or, go somewhere, visit someone, whatever that is.
Yep.
Let's get that going because whatever your condition could get worse and you may not be able
Yep.
to do this later. So
You
let's live in the
see,
present and let's get it done.
that's how I am. I wanna travel more, and I've made the decision, well, see, when I was a young little girl, I kept having a dream, and it was repetitive that I was only gonna live to 50. I don't know why, and
Hmm,
here I am 46, and my health is declining, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I wanna go to Colorado. I wanna go to New Mexico. I wanna go to Utah. I wanna take my son to go camping, at the cabin I like in the
hmm,
fall." So I'm trying to do that bucket list and just enjoy what remaining I have because, you never know. I mean, I'm going into a surgery this Thursday that is elective. Like they just got to look and find and see if my small intestines is all messed up again.
hmm.
I had bad luck on my sleeve and my bypass surgery. My stomach was done too small. I have kidney stones the rest of my life, ulcers, you name it. So,
Mhm.
but I just could not shake what was happening. It felt like my small intestines again right after an emergency surgery. And I'm like, why is this pain? But you
Mhm.
never know. So I just at church, I prayed with them today and I was like, I got this, I'm going to
Yeah.
get through it. But I go, not going to lie, I'm scared this time
Mhm. Mhm.
because you don't know. What if they do find something really wrong in there because they said they're going to go fix it, whatever they find? What if it hurts more?
Right. Right.
But thinking positive, if I put my mindset away from that and go, when I get done and healed, I'm going to Colorado. Let's
Yeah.
start looking and having fun and doing a vision board. We're going to go here, here, here. And these are the pictures I have to see, and when are we going? Spring, because I hate winter. But,
Oh,
what are the temperatures?
yeah.
So how far of a drive or do I want to fly?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah,
it's going
just
to be
take it.
those fun things.
Yeah, and even if you can't, like, start putting
Yeah.
money on something now, at least, like you said, do that research, start cutting those
Oh,
pictures out,
yeah.
make that vision board, putting it out there because you have something to look forward to. So we're gonna get through this surgery, we're gonna be okay, and we're gonna go to
Yeah.
Colorado. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then when you're helping people too, that is the key. You're telling them exactly the same thing because it's so important. It reminds me of one of our other sponsors. Have you ever heard of Snap Bands?
I have.
You have? Okay, put my mommy glasses on here.
Okay.
Okay. So let me see if I can show you this. I mean, you probably see it on Facebook. Mine says hope right here. And on the back, it has this elastic band that you just kind of gentle pull and snap. So
Mhm,
the way this kind of works, I mean, we live in a society right now that it's just, with work, school, health, finances, it's anxiety almost every day for
yeah,
people, like, whether they're accepting it or just bringing it in. I mean, I can't watch the news anymore, and I won't. That's
mhm,
my choice, my mom loves watching the news, so does my dad. "Did you see this?" I was like, "No, I was at work." If something will come across on Facebook or, my phone will ding like, "Hey, breaking news."
mhm,
So, but other than that, so with, negative thoughts that people can get, they're thinking they're not good enough or nobody loves them. We just need to know that there's been so many people in the world, over 40 million people diagnosed with anxiety, depression, OCD. I'm throwing PTSD in there. And they make these bracelets and they all have a mantra word, which is pretty cool. So they have believe, blessing, dream, fearless, hope, love, and peace. And I say we. Well, yeah, we we added faith, and you can only get the word faith if you put their promo code in KHA for Keep Hope Alive. So, but now these bands come in that, and with the mantra words, they want you to use it. Like if you have a prayer, My thing I always use for the hospital, like, I pray they find a vein, I don't get bruised, and,
Mhm.
I had a big bruise that just healed, and tomorrow I have to go for another shot, and then Thursday, another IV, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go again." It's gonna be, like, months of having bruises, I think, so but, I use it and say, "I hope and pray that, they find a vein." Some people will be like, I believe in myself. I am a blessing. I am fearless, and that's
Mhm.
something that would help you. I showed this to another person I had an interview. She said she actually does a rubber band and she does the same thing that Snap Bands does, but she does it before going to bed and helps her fall asleep. I was like, "Well, that's good." I gotta try that out. So, but that's just the cognitive way. It's based on that theory that it will help redirect those thoughts. Now, a portion of these bands that get sold, it goes to organizations that help with depression and anxiety too. They're made out of vegan leather, all different colors to choose from. They're beautiful. I want you to go visit them at www.snapbands.com, and it's spelled SNAPPBANDZ.com. So finding those, they're beautiful. You're gonna love it. I had mine for a year and I'm still wearing it. Nice and waterproof. I never take it off unless it's a surgery. You got to take that off, ma'am. I was like,
Right.
let me just pull it first. So, but other than that, let's get back to you, Kellie. So are you with the coaching that you do and everything? People, do you do it Zoom wise too? Like people,
Yeah, so everything is online because I serve
yeah,
people, anywhere, right?
yeah,
I
hmm
like to move around myself. So, yes, everything is virtual. We hop on Zoom and it's one-on-one. So, basically, what I do is I take women through a 90-day program. And during that 90-day is tailor-made for them because every person is different,
yeah,
they have different triggers, different worries, different fears. So we sit down, we talk about what is happening,
yeah,
what they're currently experiencing, how they would like to feel in the future, and then we get to work on that. And I really start by working also with just the mindset. We are going to dive into all of that negative self talk and those fears, and let's eliminate the emotional charges related to those things so that we can move forward. So,
yeah,
that's kind of the entry of the process, and then we do more things. We get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and I know people don't like that, but it's something that's necessary.
yeah,
We go through different processes and, uh how do I say this? Not just processes, it's experiences. That's what I want to say.
yeah,
Experiences like that and just journaling, just a lot of different things because at the end of that 90 days, I want to make sure that they are ready to make whatever choice they want to make. So for example, with the hair loss, they don't have to wear a bald head. They may still want to wear a wig. They want to maybe do hair ups, whatever it may be. It's just to get you to the point to where if tomorrow you say, you know what, it's hot outside. I don't want to wear this wig. I just want to be
yeah,
me. I just want to relax and just throw on my clothes and go. You're
yeah.
confident enough to do that. Okay. You're
That's
not
good.
worried constantly about what you look like, your appearance. You are just going about your day, living your life, being confident and going with the flow.
See, I like that. Building that confidence up so much. Take on
Mhm.
the world.
Yeah.
You know, I I know if I put myself in everybody's shoes, no matter what, yeah, it's going to be a process to learn it, but I definitely would be out there going, I like karaoke. I don't care what people think, and I don't care what they say about me. I mean, heck, I finally admitted to everybody on a podcast I've been on Judge Judy. So,
Mhm.
I mean, with that, when she posted, that was in 2017, but she posted like a year or two ago on social media. So, seeing any kind of written comment, For self-care and love for me, don't wanna read it. I won, but still, I didn't wanna read negatives towards him either because
Yeah.
it was up to me. It was my ex-fiancé. I went to school with him. He was nice. I don't wanna read what people think he looked like or,
Mhm.
and hear their comments, but it's a choice we make. So standing up to that and being strong and moving forward is so important.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
now, do you have any books that you wrote or any podcasts?
No books.
Okay.
I'm not interested in writing a book at this point in time. Now, in the future, maybe, but right now, no, not on my
Yep.
radar.
Yep.
Right now, what I do, I just really stick to the coaching. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I do have like some free stuff I give people, like a 90-day journal or hair loss support. I do things like that. But right now, my focus is just on the coaching part. I do speaking,
Good.
there's a speaking engagement.
Mhm.
My thing is more around educating people and supporting people, right? So I
Yeah.
like to talk. I like not to talk to people on a regular basis 'cause I am an introvert. So let me make sure that's clear. But what I'm saying, when I share my information and share my gift, I like to talk just like we're
Yep.
talking right now, right? I like
Yeah.
to connect with people and really like get to the nitty gritty. So that's the best way for me to express myself. So just doing the one-on-ones, the coaching, the
Yep.
speaking engagements, retreats, and different things like that. Retreats will come in the future, not right now, but
Oh,
different
girl,
things
I was
that
like, that's
are
gonna
in the
be so
works.
fun. And then the books, like, I know I have at least 2 books I wanna get written. I was like, "When am I gonna do that?" And then I always have an image of me writing a sentence, delete, no, I don't like that sentence
Uh-huh.
the next day. I was like, I'm better with a ghostwriter. And I did find a ghostwriter years ago, and I said about the book because it was based on actual events.
Mhm.
It was scary, but yeah, I was like, "No, this is too much for me," and I was like, "Okay, well, great. My book is never gonna get written." So, it's just like, "Okay, one day I'm gonna sit down, just focus, and I'm gonna set 30 days, get this done right away." And it's
Mhm.
great because I'll interview people who teach people to write fast
Okay.
and get it done, and they coach through it, and I was like, "Well, that's what I need to do. I need to go through that way, and that way I can have the mindset to get that done and not overthink it or analyze it too much."
Right.
So, yeah,
And I'm sure
definitely.
you'll get it done when it's time. When the
Yeah,
time is right,
and
you'll
when
get
you start yours, you gotta come back and tell me because I'm gonna add it to our storefront.
okay,
Now, people
okay.
now, if people wanna find you, what your website, email's the best,
Yeah,
social
so
media sites?
yeah, my website is limitlessmindsetcoach.com. So limitlessmindsetcoach.com. If you go to my website, you can check out information about me. I share my full story. You're able to book a call with me and we can just chat and get to know each other, see if we're a good fit for each other. And again, some of my resources I have on there, you can download those. So yeah, just go check it out. Now, on social media, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I am now I'm a little bit more active now on LinkedIn, but I'm under Miss Kellie Michelle. So the name
Miss
you see
Kelly
on the
Mich
screen, yep, the name you
Okay.
see on the screen is the same way you spell it. So Miss Kellie Michelle, you'll find me. And I put out a lot of good tips and educational information, and
Uh-huh.
I share funny stories just about my experiences as a bald woman. I share stories like that as well. So follow me and you can just hear a little bit about me.
That's a great thing, and, like, I notice on TikTok, I'm more open to just be myself. I love to sing, so there may be times that I'm just like, "I'm blue, la-da-dee, la-dee-da," like, just having fun. I remember somebody commented, "Are you okay?" Or it was one of the songs I was singing. I was, like, thinking, "Why are they asking I'm okay? I love this song. I'm gonna
Right.
just sing," whatever it
Why can't
was.
you just have fun? Yeah.
I know. It's like, hey, but talking to people also, I did a TikTok live for the first time.
Okay.
I was such a mom. I didn't even know how to shut it off. I was like, I need my son here to help me.
Now, I've never done a live, so I cannot even talk. I don't have
I
the courage. I'm like, "Oh, let me pre-record because I think I need to edit
yeah.
something."
Yes, and that's I bought an extra camera for live streaming to my shows because people have asked me to do it. It's just a matter of I wanna teach myself. I like when I get a new camera, I teach myself before opening the box. And it
Okay.
was funny because the camera came in the mail. I'm like, or not the camera, the streaming thing. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And my son goes, I was like, why is it open? He goes, you told me to open it. I go, I did.
Mm.
Like I couldn't remember. And I was like, okay. So now it sits on the floor and I'm like, okay, I gotta get to that. But it's so funny
Yep.
because I want it back in the box, and that's just how I operate. So, but it's gonna be exciting to learn something new and get that going too. So, but I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope we covered everything. Is there anything else I missed
No,
or
I
no?
think we covered a good majority of the things. Yeah, I mean, we're good.
Good. Well, you are such a delight to talk to. And I mean, giving people hope and love and the courage and the inspiration is so important to what your message and what you're getting out there to other people that need this. So that's
Well,
very good. I love that about you. So,
thank you for
all
having
right.
me too on the show. I have
Oh,
to say that.
I
Thank
know.
you because this was an awesome conversation.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Well, really quick, I had my dog knocking on the door. I didn't know dogs know how to knock on the door. It's like, it's time to be fed, mom. But I want to thank our other sponsors who actually make Keep Hope afloat. As I mentioned, we have Life on Record, which was your interactive guest book for any kind of event out there that records the message. And you can have that burned on a 12-inch vinyl record or their keepsake speaker. You can find them at www.lifeonrecord.com. We also talked about snap bands. This little beauty, I call it the beauty if I can get it up. I love green screen, but I hate how it takes away sometimes when you're moving your hand and it's just like, it's missing. But yeah, they help eliminate some of the anxiety, depression, OCD that you may be facing. They come in all different colors, all different mantra words to help you with that. So you can go to www.snapbands.com. Our next one is Ogden Ventures LLC. Mr. Marcus Ogden is a former football player, a podcaster, and best-selling author. His podcasts are amazing. I love talking to him. He's just amazing at what he does. You can find him, and I'm going to spell this, not smell this, spell this too. www. Marcus is Marquess Ogden Odgen.com. Our next one is bridalshowsinc.com. Miss Naomi has been doing so many bridal shows for so many years. If you are planning an event and want to meet some of the top vendors and see a beautiful fashion show, they're 2-day events. Like she has a total, I think, 5 or 6 throughout the year that you can come and check. So people from all different states come down to Dallas, Texas for this. So got to check her out. Our next one is Bryce Harney, and it's www.brycemagic.com. You've probably seen him on TV last year, but he is a mind mentalist and magician. He's been doing this for big corporate events and even churches, works with their sermon lesson and does a magic show for everybody. So it's really cool to watch. Next one is Miles and Smiles Events. Miss Deborah Rose. She's a handwriting analysis and lipstick reader. And it's kind of cool. Like she had me kiss some paper, and I was like, how'd you get all this information out of my lips? And it was accurate. I've seen her at some of the shows that we did together, and she did an event. And I was just like, I'm in awe with her, and her staff is amazing. They're right on point. Our next one and final one is richmondpunch.net. Richmond graduated from the Juilliard's top honors. He's a violinist for over 30 years. He has played in front of a million people before. He had 2 spots on Lifetime shows as the violinist there, and now he's traveling and doing tours for his music and everything, but he is in Dallas, Texas. He does travel, so I gotta make that clear. If you need him for a wedding or any special event, he does wanna talk to you. So richmondpunch.net. So, wherever you guys find your podcast, you'll be able to find Keep Hope Alive. You can always leave us a message. You can ask Kellie anything you want. I'm going to send these messages to her too. Our phone number is 833-780-HOPE, which is, I think, 4673. So, but you can also leave a message on the website at www.keephopealivepodcast.com. And then if you have any suggestions or wanted to hear any stories, voice those. I get some, that I can't get, like the Olympians. I was like, "There's no way I can't do that," you know? They can come to me. I'm always open door, but until then, we're just gonna have to wait on that one. But if you have a suggestion, I will do my best to bring somebody on to talk to them and interview them as well. So, but once again, Kellie, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed our conversation. You're a joy. And, as soon as we get these books that we are planning in our heads done, you can add it to the store. Just send me a quick little email. We'll get that and everything. But thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you
So,
again.
aw, thank you. Until our next show, guys, love and light. Bye bye.
Bye.